Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and I want to talk to you guys about Birds of Prey, mostly about whether or not it's going to be a success, because we don't know. We don't know at this point. It's literally all over the place. Reports are coming in from smaller outlets that are saying that it's dead. Other reports are saying that it's doing okay. We don't know. We really, honest to God, have no idea. So I wanted to take a look at the information that's available and kind of maybe come to an Occam's razor approach to see whether or not this movie is going to do well. So first things first, we got to take a look here at cosmicbooknews.net, which is a website that is definitely more on the right-leaning spectrum. Some have argued that it basically just pushes fake narrative and sometimes fake news. But again, like everything else, grain of salt is needed. So let's take a look here at what they're saying. They say, exclusive Birds of Prey dead in the water, coming in from Matt McGloin, posted yesterday. He says here, following my articles about Birds of Prey tickets not selling, I have been contacted by a source in LA that says the flick is dead in the water. Now, he does say that the insider is connected to one of the largest theater chains in the LA area. There are a number of them that are there. Predominantly in LA, you've got AMC is a big one. There's TCL, but that's a couple. That's like ArcLight. You know, you've got I don't even remember there being a Regal. I know there's Regency. That's the one I worked for. There's a number of different chains in LA, and it really just depends on who you're talking to. Like, I would really want to know which chain he's referring to, because that would determine a number of factors. The theater where it would be located in Los Angeles is, again, another factor. When I worked for Regency, we had 22 cinemas throughout LA, right? All in different parts of the city. Nowhere near AMC's or whatever, but they had a bunch of theaters too. There's a bunch of people in LA. There's like 12 million in LA County. This is something I personally would like to know in order to kind of gauge how this whole thing is playing out. Anyway, but he does say here, while we simply have to check the online ticketing apps such as Fandango and Atom to see that no one is buying tickets, a source close to the movie theater industry tells me that there really are no tickets being sold for Birds of Prey. All the local theaters are dead in the water with pre-sale tickets, the insider says. The insider goes on to note that just as I and other fans have done, checking screenings reveals there are literally showings with 0 tickets sold. And that is true, actually. I was looking that up. But coming over here to Fandango, this is Fandango's showing for Birds of Prey at 6 p.m. on Thursday, February 6th at the AMC Burbank in Burbank, California. We can see that a vast majority of tickets here have been sold. And the reason why I'm bringing this particular one up has everything to do with the fact that when I lived and worked in LA, this is my metric for success. This theater was my metric for success because this is the one that people would travel all over LA to come to the AMC Burbank 16. If you weren't going to go to the TCL, the Chinese Theater down on Hollywood Boulevard, or ArcLight in Hollywood, this is where you went. And so this has got some decent tickets sold. Other ones, not so much. But the first one seems to be doing okay. And again, that's just my experiences, and we can be different on this one. But also, you've got the first reviews here have come out from critics. A social media embargo has lifted. The actual review embargo doesn't lift until February 5th, and that's not until I forget what time of the day that comes out. But they do say here that it is an absolute blast. I did cover the social media reactions to Birds of Prey, and they were vastly popular. They were vastly positive. More people seem to like it than not. There were definitely a few complaints, but then again, the audience out there hasn't seen it themselves, and we know that there is a disconnect between a lot of critics and the audiences. I believe Joker is a solid metric for that particular situation, considering how many of the news media attempted to attack the movie, creating this massive controversy, this massive much ado about nothing that ultimately led to it pulling in above expectations. In I think it was 96 million in its opening weekend, going on to gross over $1 billion. And this movie right now definitely is not doing that. So according to Variety here, and they posted this a couple days ago, it says that Birds of Prey sees strong first day ticket pre-sales. Now this kind of counters the Cosmic Book News article. This is Variety. I'm sorry, I give way more stock and way more faith to Variety for having their coverage. But then again, this is only coming from the ticket sales program, Atom Tickets, who reported a strong first day pre-sales from Margot Robbie's, saying that Birds of Prey sold more tickets on Wednesday in the first day of pre-sales than Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman in the same time period. It's the third best day of pre-sales for a DC title behind Aquaman and Joker. That being said, we also have to look at that same information that was being put out there about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and Solo that had strong pre-ticket sales, but still fundamentally kind of came up short. Even though Star Wars grossed $1 billion, it didn't do anything more than The Last Jedi, which is something that is actually seen as a failure for a lot of people. But coming over here and looking at this article from BatmanNews.com, Suicide Squad breaks Fandango pre-ticket sales record. This is from August 2nd, 2016, only a couple of days before the release of the film. They said here that Suicide Squad may not be getting positive reviews from critics, but there's still some positive news to report. Fandango announced today that Suicide Squad has broke their records for advance tickets sold in the month of August. While they didn't disclose how many tickets have been sold, Suicide Squad has sold more advance tickets than other big August movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Straight Outta Compton. Early tracking puts the movie at 125 million for Suicide Squad, but because of this number, now analysts have kicked it up to 130 to 140, and I don't think it made that much. It did very well, but there was a reason why it did very well, and it had a lot to do with the demographic breakdown. You had 23% of people turned up for Will Smith, 21% turned up for Margot Robbie, and a lot of other people turned up because of the diverse cast. Actually, believe it or not, diversity sells tickets. I know people out there like to argue against that. They like to act that none of that makes any sense and that it's all a lie. But no, it's absolutely true. Diversity will in fact sell tickets. But here's what I think is going to happen, right? So looking at this article here coming in from the Hollywood Reporter, and this is something I talked about a couple days ago. DC is inviting fans to an early Bird of Prey screening. And they've done this with Aquaman and Shazam, where they had a one-day screening a couple weeks early through Amazon for Aquaman that did really well. Then they doubled down with Shazam and they did 2 screenings on an afternoon. And then it was so popular, they added a 3rd screening, but that ended up, in my opinion, backfiring on them simply because they had anyone who wanted to go see it already went to go see it. There was really no reason to go see it again. It's a good movie. You should have gone and seen it, by the way. But I think that was really the hype was, there was so much of a delay between the two, between the seeing it early and the film coming out, that the hype just kind of died down. This is different. So what they're doing is, if you are a DC Universe fan, if you happen to be a subscriber of that service, you might have gotten invites yesterday on the 31st of January to go and see an early screening of the movie on either the 4th or the 5th. Predominantly the 5th is when they're going to be doing it, but it's at 30 theaters across the nation and it's a limited seating. So they're trying to build this type of hype. They're trying to build this word of mouth and this strong hype in order to have it transfer over to the weekend. And that could ultimately be what really does hurt this movie, is the fact that people out there who want to go see it are going to go see it for free through DC Universe. And if the solid reviews aren't good, people might turn the other way. But really, none of that matters, in my opinion. I don't think reviews have any real impact outside of the internet, if I'm being honest with you. Most people don't care about what critics have to say. Suicide Squad is a great example of that. The movie bombed by critics, bombed by fans even. Fans, a lot of people out there hate the movie. They'll tell you, oh, God, Suicide Squad, terrible. Oh, my God, it's the worst movie ever. But it still went on to do over $700 million. And a lot of that had to do with repeat viewings from young teens who liked seeing Harley Quinn as well as Will Smith. And that is something that I think a lot of people are not taking into consideration when looking at this movie. When you look at something like Birds of Prey and you look at something like what the message is it's written by a woman, Christina Hodson. I'm a little bit concerned because Bumblebee was a terrible script, and that's the last one she wrote. Directed by a woman, Kathy Yan, starring basically a female front-loaded cast with a couple male leads in there with Ewan McGregor and Patrick. I think it's Patrick Messina, right? That's the guy's name, playing Zaz. But anyway, you've got an eclectic, diverse group of female heroes that are going to be basically treating it like Deadpool. There's going to be F-bombs. There's going to be violence. There's going to be fight scenes. There's apparently a lot of good action in the movie. And that could be enough to keep women going back. And I've talked about this before, and people out there want to fight me on this one. But if women were a large reason why Suicide Squad did the business that it did, it makes all the sense in the world that they would then come back for this movie. That's just Occam's razor. They are looking for a female-led superhero movie. They came out For Captain Marvel, for some unknown reason, that movie was bland as hell. This one doesn't look bland. People are trying to call it woke. Cosmic Book News calls it woke. It's not. It's not woke to have a female-led movie, right? It's not woke at all to have that. That term has now been killed like feminists killed misogyny. It's a dead term now, and they ran it into the ground because they were trying to score cool kid points on the internet by the edgy outliers of society, and it's pointless BS in my opinion. However, this movie, $50 million opening weekend is a far cry from the success of Suicide Squad. It is opening at a different time of year, but it's a time of year where we have seen successes north of 100 million in the terms of Deadpool as well as Black Panther. Both have come out and both have done exceptionally well. Deadpool had a great marketing campaign that really helped get people to go see it. It was also billed as a romantic comedy for Valentine's Day. This movie's marketing has kind of been all over the place. I mean, just look at this poster here again. Like it's loud, it's colorful, it's vibrant, which is a lot of what Suicide Squad had relied on, but just not dark neon colors, but very light colors. That is giving it more of kind of like a party vibe. And that could work, it could not. I literally have no idea, but I'll be curious to see where it all goes. And I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts and your guys' opinions on this one. Do you feel that the movie's going to do well? I think it's going to tank. I want to hear your thoughts. We might disagree, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this one. So let me know down in the comments below. Comments below, not comics below. If you made it this far, do me a solid, type BOP in the comment box so I know you guys made it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.